Hey guys, I think that especially younger people, we tend to, you know what I mean? Because we are forming our personality and we're kind of like discovering who we are as people and what makes us, not only what makes us who we are, but also what makes us special. I think we are in this constant fight for not attention, but like we want this, it's this like internal fight to like, okay, who am I? What makes me me? You know what I mean? And I think this is why mostly younger people, we tend to buy a lot of merch. Like, I'm a fan of this group, I'm a fan of this other group, of this celebrity, this movie, this franchise, this brand or whatever, because sometimes there's brands like merchandise like in a lot of stores and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, we want to be part of a group. We want to be a part of something that's bigger than us. We want to make those things our personality traits. And even like people who have this or that gender identity, this or that sexual orientation, like they buy merch and they buy things and they kind of like wear them and stuff like that. Like, listen, I'm not shitting on these people. Like, don't come for me. I'm not shitting on these people. I'm just saying that it is not, at the end of the day, the things that you're a fan of, the things that you're not a fan of, the things that you identify as, the things that you don't identify as, nobody cares. Like, nobody gives a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not one of these like right wingers. Like, I'm apolitical, but I'm not one of these like right wingers who are like, oh my god, these people are just like wanting to get the attention. Like, these people are just so stupid and they need a job and all this. No, no, no. Listen, I support whatever you identify as, whatever you like, however you want to dress. I fully support. I'm just telling you that if you think that people are going to be like, oh my god, this person's so cool, they wear this and that. Okay, some people are going to think that probably, but most people out there don't give a fuck. So, like, if you want to dress this or that way, do it because you want to, not because you care what other people think or because people are going to tell you this or that. You know what I mean? Like, people don't care at the end of the day. And like, if you are, especially younger people, I think we tend to be less confident when it comes to things because we don't have a lot of experience with things. Like, if you think that wearing this or that merchandise, wearing this or that like pins like that you put in your clothes and stuff like that, like, you know what I mean? Like, being part of this group, that group, or being like this, being like that, if you think that that's gonna give you the confidence that you need, like, obviously feel proud of who you are, because all of those are personality traits at the end of the day, and that's not what gives you value as a person. Like, that's not like being from this country, being from that country, speaking I don't know how many languages, being this or that race, being this or that gender, this or that sexual orientation. Do you know what I mean? Like, none of those things make you more or less valuable as a person. None of those things, you know what I mean? Like, it's not about whose personality is quirkier. It's not about whose personality is more exotic, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, somebody could think like, okay, I'm mid. You know what I mean? Like, I look very mid. I'm not exotic in the way that I look. So I'm gonna try to be exotic with my personality, with the things that I like. I mean, I've seen a few videos of people that would laugh at people who, you know what I mean, who are trying to be quirky in the sense that, I don't know, I follow this or that music group and nobody knows who they are. And so I'm so different because, I like things that nobody really knows about, whatever. And then when they become mainstream, it's like, oh no, they're not mainstream anymore. So I have to look for something that nobody's really into. You know what I mean? Like, nobody cares what you like. Nobody cares what music you like. Nobody cares what movies you like. Nobody cares what TV shows you like. Nobody cares what gender identity you identify as. Nobody cares there's people that are going to criticize whatever you identify as, especially if it comes to when it comes to the LGBT community. A lot of people are going to criticize because a lot of people don't know shit about it and they're going to criticize. But at the end of the day, nobody goes to bed thinking whether you identify as this, as that, whether this is more common or this is less common, whether you're more or less oppressed, whatever, by society. Nobody gives a fuck. I'll tell you something. And I'm like, I found out like 2 years ago, I think, that I was on the aromantic and the asexual spectrum, especially the asexual spectrum. But I identify as those things. But I looked up a lot of stuff about it. Like, I looked up a lot of stuff about the LGBT community. Like, I would learn the flags and what they meant and the difference between, you know what I mean? Like, I would learn about gender identity and sexual orientation and like the difference between like sexual attraction, sexual behavior, sexual orientation, and what was the other thing? Libido and stuff like that. Like, I would learn a lot of things, and I learned a lot of things about the asexual spectrum and the identities within it, the aromantic spectrum, the identities within it. Like, I learned so many things, like even altruist attraction and all these concepts that nobody fucking knows about. Like, I am glad that I learned those things, But now it's been 2 years and I realized, like, sometimes I even forget I'm in those spectrums. And I choose not to identify as those spectrums. Not because, like, oh, people are going to laugh at me, people are going to criticize me or whatever. But I choose not to identify because, one, I don't care. And number two, nobody cares. And three, that's not what gives me the confidence that I need in life. You know what I mean? Like, and four, because it's misleading. Okay, so I don't care. Honestly, I don't really care. I behave and I think and I live just like any other cisgender female who is straight and you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, I would like to have a boyfriend one day and I want to get married and I want to have kids, you know what I mean? And I just do not, you know what I mean? I don't get a crush on just anybody and I do not feel sexually attracted to people from the beginning, and that's it. But I think that a lot of people, that would make a lot of people aspec and arospec and all those things, and I don't want to talk too much about it because this deserves a video of its own. But the thing is, like, I chose not to identify because it's misleading. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to think, a lot of people don't know what this shit is. And I don't want people to be like, oh, so she can't feel romantic attraction. She can't feel sexual attraction. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to mislead people if I publicly identify as that. People are going to be like, wait, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Like, is she going to end up being single with 4 cats? No, at the end of the day, I want what a lot of mainstream people want. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I just want what everybody else wants, you know? Getting married, having kids. That's all I want, and I'm straight. That's it. I think that's all you need to know. You know what I mean? So I don't really care. And I'm telling you, like, I used to make bracelets. Like, it was so much fun. Like, I have the pride bracelet, I have the asexual one, like the colors, I have the aromantic one, and I made this other one. I used to wear them somewhat often, and I'll tell you something, they did not change anything. I did not feel any more confident, any better about myself. Like, obviously, it's like wearing the clothes that you like, you know what I mean? Like, I have my own style and you have your own style, and obviously you feel good when you wear stuff that you like. Well, this is the same thing, but I did not feel any more confident wearing any of that stuff. And especially the following year, it was a year where I lost a lot of confidence because I was, I was put down or kind of, and also let down by some of the people that I knew that I was close to. And that made me lose a lot of confidence. That made me feel like I was stupid and all that stuff. But you know what gives me confidence? What gives me confidence at the end of the day is the things that I can do, the things that I know how to do, the things that I know, and how hardworking I am or not. You know what I mean? The things that I have proved to myself, how productive I can be, how hard I can work, how driven I am, how committed I am to doing things, the things that I have achieved. Like, for instance, this year I just got a degree. I'm about to start a master's degree. You know what I mean? Like, I learned a whole language on my own. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that rare. You know, anybody can get a degree. Anybody can get a master's degree. Anybody can, well, not everybody can afford it, but you know what I mean? Like, everybody has the ability to. That's what I mean. And a lot of people, what was the other thing I said? Everybody can learn a language on their own. Like, you have the internet, you have an internet connection, like, you can do that. But the thing is, what makes me confident is what I can do as a person. Like, if you, especially if you're young, it is okay. I'm not saying you shouldn't be a fan of this, you shouldn't be a fan of that, you shouldn't look for, like, gender identities or sexual orientations. Like, you should explore and you should learn about yourself. And the more you learn about yourself, the more you can learn about other people. And the more understanding you are of yourself, the more you can understand other people. I'm not saying those things are not important. I'm just saying these things are personality traits. These things do not make you any more or less valuable. What makes you valuable is just being alive. I'm not saying that dead people have no value at all, but what I'm saying is that being who you are, just being here, like being a human, already gives you, it already makes you deserving of the things you have and more. It makes you deserving of good things. It makes you deserving of love. You don't need to prove that you are this or that quirky. You don't need to prove that you are so exotic. You don't need to prove that you're different from other girls, other boys, whatever. You don't need to prove how different you are to, you know what I mean, to be accepted. You know what I mean? We all deserve to be accepted because we are part of this society. You know what I mean? And if you're looking to be confident, if you want to have confidence, you're not going to get it with this. You're not going to get it with buying merchandise. Of course, you can make friends and it can be a conversation piece. You know what I mean? Like, if you wear I don't know, I have an Ariana Grande sweater. Like if somebody like comes to me and says, "Oh my god, I love that album," I would be like, "Yeah, oh my god, I loved it too." You know what I mean? Like it was amazing when it came out. It's one of my favorite albums, whatever. Like it can be a conversation piece. You can make friends. You know what I mean? Like I've made friends who were fans of, who either introduced me to, you know, certain music, or who were fans of the same people that I was a fan of, and that made us like become friends. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying, you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying that's not important, but I'm just saying that those are just personality traits. It doesn't make you any more or less whatever. You know what I mean? And this is not going to make you more confident. It's not going to make you more confident. I'll tell you for a fact, you know what I mean? Like it's not, one day you're going to realize that really what gives you confidence is the things that you can prove to yourself, the things that you can do. Because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I identify as all these things. I know these things about myself, but okay, it's normal and it's important to learn about yourself, but it's not what gives you everything. You know what I mean? It's not going to make you less lost in life. You know what I mean? Like you still have to find your purpose in life, what you want to do, who you want to be, and you have to be a good person no matter what. And you know what I mean? You're not more or less valuable because you're this or that. You know what I mean? As long as you know yourself, know your weaknesses, your strengths, you work on yourself, and you accept other people, that's it. That's it. You know what I mean? Find who you are, but finding yourself is more about what you want to do in life, what role you want to play in this life. Not so much like, okay, what do I like? What do I not like? What pins should I put on my backpack? You know what I mean? Like what is my favorite song? What is my favorite singer? What is my favorite movie? That is not finding yourself. That is not finding yourself. And I've been rambling for a little bit long. I think this is everything I wanted to say. And yeah, I hope this was not misleading. And I'll talk more about certain things in another video. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.